Wouldn't it be so wonderful if we just learned to enjoy the present moment? A lot of the times we're caught up in our own mind about the many different moments that we've experienced in the past and the many different moments that we have yet to experience in the future, based on the future outline that someone else from outside of us has given to us as far as the experiences that we should have, right? So a lot of people, think and believe, hey, by the time I'm 25, I should have a house, or by the time I'm 20, I should have a car. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, these just be perspectives that were lost, and sometimes, you might need these things. Sometimes you do need these things and shit. I'm not saying you don't need it or you don't need it, but a lot of the times, the wants and needs that the world is projecting on us, a lot of the times that takes us out of the present moment, and the present moment is so important because we are literally walking through the present moment. Like, that's how we literally go through life, from one moment to another, from one moment to another, from one moment to another. But what about if we were going from one moment to another with something else on our mind, with something else that's just not really actually allowing us to experience things from the more clear space, allowing us to have clarity as we go along? What if our mind was muddied with past experiences? What if our mind was muddied with things that are yet to be, that other people have projected onto us, and we're trying to live those things and shit like that, right? So enjoying the moment becomes really difficult, and life in general, the system that we're in makes it very difficult to enjoy the moment because the system is constantly projecting on us fear, things that we need to get. Hey, girls need to get this type of makeup. Oh, girls need to have this type of ass. Oh, dudes need to have this type of body type. Oh, you need to look like this and blah blah blah. So we constantly worry, we constantly stress, or we're constantly pulled back and forth in this like mental jerk, this mental pull back and forth and shit like that, that pulls us out of our natural equilibrium state. I'm not gonna say it's our natural equilibrium state, but really it's like the world really does take you out of your own, like it just takes you from enjoying yourself. You can't even actually be a child. The world really just forces you to be old right away, right? So a lot of people, a lot of old people and shit like that, they be like miserable, pissed off, because it's like you can see they literally didn't even enjoy their lives. They were too busy trying to live someone else's life. They were too busy trying to do what their mom and dad told them. They was too busy trying to impress their boss to the point that by the time they even got to the position that the world told them they should get into, they were still depressed. Whatever they got from it wasn't even worth it, other than the eyes of the people that envy them for that particular position, right? Because a lot of people be fighting for positions in corporations and all types of dumb shit in the world, not realizing that there's so many positions that have yet to be fulfilled as far as potential, latent potential that's inside of us and stuff like that, things that we're brewing and shit like that, right? So there's a lot of potentials that have yet to be unfulfilled in the universe. And the universe is a very wide place. The universe is a very open space for everybody. The universe welcomes all spirits to expand and contract as they do to get a particular result. But whenever we expand and contract in a way that's, I'd say toxic, I would say it's toxic. I would say it's negative, just because it's taking us out of the present moment, and we truly can't observe what's actually going on in front of us, right? Right? Like, we try to start thinking about the future. We start thinking about the distant past, things that really have nothing to do with the present moment. You could be talking to someone and shit like that, and you could be stuck inside of a thought and a feeling from the past, because we all have our fluid cycles and shit like that, right? We all have our own ways of seeing things. Sometimes you could be stuck in a feeling that you had accumulated from the past, and you're bringing this feeling to the present. Let's say your mother and father may physically and verbally abuse you at an early age. You may carry this feeling around you of being unsafe and being unsure and uncertain how you should be presented or how you should talk. You might not even like speak up for yourself, just due to not actually going within and being able to actually just let go of these things so you can actually fill your cup with something else. And a lot of the times, that's the benefit of being in the moment, because we really just are able to switch visions. We're able to switch feelings. We're able to switch thoughts, because a thought logic is just an observation based on the fluidity of that emotion, based on the fire, the vision that we spark, how we personally see things, how we personally like to separate ourselves from people, so we can have our own point of view and shit like that, right? Or you could be stuck in a very rigid, practical way of doing things, you know what I'm saying? But the point of being in the moment is that it really allows us to enjoy the nature of life, you know what I'm saying? That's why we're in this time. We're in time because we're just enjoying these times, we're learning about ourselves, we're learning about people around us, based on however your chart is set up. What you're here to expand upon is going to be way different than what someone else is to expand upon. But a lot of the times, these things can just take us out of our own mind. You might see someone in a position that you want to be in, and you might want to play out their thoughts, their feelings, because we believe that, hey, if I do that, then that means I'm going to get to that position too. I'm gonna be seen that way. Oh yeah, people gonna respect me, blah blah. But a lot of the times we don't be allowing ourselves enough space to do things our way, to be unique, to be authentic, to actually like take the time to actually grow up, go through more experiences and shit, right? That's why like a lot of mysticism and a lot of like occult spirituality, it's good a lot of the times, but a lot of the times you could use that knowledge to like skip real life experiences and all that shit. Because at the end of the day, your life experience is gonna be is what's gonna self-reflect what's going on with you, right? Every situation, everything you go through is just a mere self-reflection of what you've created with somebody else and shit like that, right? Because it always takes two people to tango. But yeah, a lot of things take us out of the present moment, man. A lot of different thoughts, a lot of different feelings. We just have to try to create our own space where we can actually enjoy our lives mentally. Because a lot of people, you might be at work, your boss might be like, hey, you fucked up this. So, but you could still be in the present moment during that process, because it's just the present moment. You just gotta learn to deal with it and shit like that. From the perspective of this, right? Your boss could tell you, hey, you fucked up. You did something wrong, man. What you doing? And that might take you out of the present moment. You might start to create some distant future where you get fired or something bad happens to you because the words that they are saying, you're associating that with a negative future. But if you actually just sit in the present moment and actually deal with things from like an equilibrium space, from a balanced space, you'll be observed and seen as a person who can actually handle stress, who actually can handle responsibilities, and doesn't let these things overweight them. And you're actually a person who can take care of things, right? So it's not necessarily what we do, it's how we do it. You can fuck up, but it's how you do it and shit like that sometimes, right? But yeah, man, this video is supposed to be about mainly just being in the present moment and shit like that. But like I'm saying, a lot of things can just take you out of that present moment. A lot of things can take you out of that enjoyment. A lot of things can just take you out of that moment. Even this moment right now, a lot of things can take me out of this moment. A past thought can take me out of this moment. A past feeling can take me out of this moment. It's like we're allowing ourselves to experience the universe, the alignments going on in the world, and not just the alignments going on in the world, because really these planets, it just be filtering out light and information based on the degree that they are in, the deacon, whatever, right? Because we're really actually receiving lights from external sources, external beings, external awarenesses that, you know, the being we're in is experiencing as well. So we're just absorbing all these different awarenesses, all these different lights, and you know, light plays out on reflection, mirrors, and shit like that. The moon could be at a certain position. That light could be shining at someone in a particular way, and they could be making them act and react to you in a particular way. And then the moon could be, like I said, pointing at you a particular way. You could be acting and reacting in a particular way without knowing actually what's going on behind closed doors. What could lead to someone to act a certain way from an esoteric perspective. A lot of people get into it from a psychological perspective, like, oh, this person must be irritated, this person must be pissed off, or this person must have, got their feelings rubbed. So you might have rubbed their feelings or some shit by something that you said and shit. So a lot of the times it'd be different things that cause people to, you know, move their mind, move their point of attention to different parts of them while they cycle what's going on in reality, aka being able to take the garbage out as far as things that are not serving you in the present moment, and actually trying to generate an experience that's actually going to serve your present moment. And a lot of the times, the things that we regenerate with our Ouroboros just be things that have nothing to do with the present moment. It'd be things from the past or things from the future. So it'd be like a whole generation of thoughts and feelings got to be let go of before we actually create a new generation of thoughts and feelings on whichever spectrum it is. Because you could have a generation of thoughts or feelings in your heart. You could have a bunch of fucked up feelings. You can have a bunch of generations just everywhere, really, because when you look at your temple, when you look at this body, this is just basically every gland is a land. So it's like, just like how you be seeing people here, observing people, tribal, fighting each other, the cells in your body do the same shit, but the cells in your body are just going to be a reflection of you. So however you deal with yourself, however you handle yourself, that's going to be what your cells internally are going to try to mimic as far as things that they should do as well, right? So we're constantly we're constantly spending time at an early age of like feelings of anger and hate and shit like that, right? That's going to be the things that our cells are going to be programmed and wired to do and fire off and shit like that. So you could be walking around one day and you could all of a sudden feel angry because it's really just something internally that hasn't been dealt with, right? And that feeling of anger might take us out of the present moment and shit like that. There might be like, and you might even like transform some situation that didn't even need to be transformed, leading to like, you know, just some negative shit. But again, that's why like we're all learning about ourselves. So as we experience life, we're looking at these life experiences that we're having. We're asking ourselves like, damn, how did I even manifest this life experience? Then you gotta track back and look at them. What thought was I in? What feeling was I in? Was I in a logical program? Was I in a left brain program inside of a religion that said, hey, the only way I can get love is through Jesus? Or was I, in a discipline like Islam and shit like that, hey, the only way I can go to heaven is if I strictly pray 5 times a day and get a bunch of reward points and shit like that. So when the day of judgment happens, I'm gonna get judged nicely or whatever the fuck. But a lot of the times people don't realize the day of judgment, that shit that Muslims be talking about, it's right now. You should judge yourself every day. You should judge your footsteps every day. Damn, why did I take a step that way? And sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's not even that serious. Like, it just really depends on your alignments in your chart. Like Sagittarius, they might be more free, more expansive. They might go through more external experiences and shit. Pisces might just go through more internal experiences as far as their broad philosophical point of views and create imaginations and shit. So we all have our own ways of travels and shit like that, right? The thing is, a lot of people just sit back and look at the way someone else is traveling and be like, yeah, that's not good, man. I don't want to live. Yeah, no shit. You have your own relative position within space and time. So you're supposed to do things how you're supposed to do things. You got your own way of doing things, and that's how it's supposed to be. The moment we try to do things how other people do things and shit, that takes us out of our space of being who we truly are, who we're truly meant to be. But it's really because we're operating from like thoughts and feelings of the past that ain't got nothing to do with the present, which ultimately takes us out of the present moment. So look at everyone around you at your workplace, blah, blah. 99% of the motherfuckers can't even enjoy the present moment. I mean, you got technologies that take you out of the present moment. Oh, you're walking down the park, you get a news on your phone. America dropped a bomb in Iraq. Or just anything in general. Or just, I don't know, some shit. All that shit takes you out of the present moment. So you start reading about a logical context about something that ain't got nothing to do with your present moment that's going on overseas. But information is not bad, but just get in and out of those things, because those things are just forms. Thoughts, logics are forms. Feelings are forms. Fires, visions are forms. Earth, practicality is forms. We're not supposed to be truly in these things. All these things are meant to be constructed and deconstructed eventually, right? Like, you can have this biological body I constructed, eventually it's going to get deconstructed and it's going to melt back into the earth. We can construct a building, but eventually it's going to get deconstruct based on whatever we decided, whether it's a war, whether we want to replace it with a new building and shit like that. So nothing is truly forever. So when we treat these logical forms like these are forms that we need to stay in forever, like especially like religious concepts or like science concepts, because these things are constantly being updated based on the awareness that we have, because we truly don't even understand how the universe really works. Well, we do understand how the universe works, but at the same time though, the more our awareness expands about the operations of the universe, and the more our awareness expands about ourselves and what could stop us from expanding ourselves and really like accepting the truth rather than accepting a bias, right? Then we can be more on a percentage level of being with God, being with spirit, rather than being with the anti-spirit, which I would say would be matter and shit like that. But that's what I'm saying, even matter. But that's the thing, I didn't want to say, spirit and anti-spirit and like that. It's just two different polar shifts of the same shit. So I don't even want to give it those names, because like, that's why even the Bible says, the spirit was contrary to the body and the body was contrary to the spirit and shit like that. Because it's like, we wasn't even supposed to drop to this density. But anyways, I'm getting into other things that I'm not even supposed to be getting into. Don't get mad at me. I'm a Pisces, okay? I'm a go places. I don't give a fuck. That's just how my mind works and shit. And that's all there is goddamn to it. But, yeah, because the way I see things in my mind, it'd be like imaginations. I'd be going from I might see a rock. Then I might go under the rock. I might see a river. I might go, it's just a bunch of shit. But that's how my mind works, and it's up to me to decide to correlate it how I need to, so I can actually manifest, I would say, like the best character that I can be, the best potential that I can be. Because the only way you're going to do that anyways is going to be with your own relative position within space and time. But the more you learn about yourself, the more you can get outside of this time, because really a lot of the times we'll be on demon time and shit. That we'll be on some retarded time. We'll be on Islam time. You might go to church on Sunday, you'll be on Jesus time. It's like, learn to be more so on your own time. Because the more you correlate yourself with things externally, if we were to look at things from like I don't even want to explain it this way, but if we were to look at things from like a Greek heliocentric model or whatever, that would be you as a planet revolving around what someone else considers as important, what someone else considers as what's necessary to be successful, and you might make your life more about something that's outside of you, rather than actually relating to what's going on inside of you and actually creating a lifestyle where what's the internals is just like the external, and the external is just like the internal. Like, I like how this one non-canonized book says, it talks about how when the inner is like the outer, and the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and the lower like the upper, meaning that like these things just be conflated, and we gotta like get these things to a state of balance as far as an orb that's, you know, regenerating and degenerating different fluids and spheres and shit like that, which is basically the mind that we in as a body, as a totality and shit like that, right? So yeah, it'd be a lot of things that takes out of the present moment. Like I said, the world itself is designed to take you out of yourself. It's designed to get you to put your energy into something else outside of you. Now I'm saying, whether it's through a form of hatred, or whether it's through a form of love, that's actually how the shadow government works. A lot of these leaders could be charming, or could make you really, really hate them. It's like very manipulative and shit like that. But when you understand how things work, they don't really care that you hate them or you love them. They're looking at it like there's an idea that they want to do, there's a problem, and there's a solution that they got to reach to. Us being in a universe of infinity possibilities, they understand that, so they're able to actually create a more harmonious outcome for their groups, just based on just understanding like how the universe works alone. Because if you understand, hate doesn't matter. That's why I say all the time, I don't care if people hate me, I don't care if people love me. Shit doesn't fucking matter anyways. So whatever you're on a path to do, just understand that whatever people is projecting on you, it's like a situation. It's like an atmosphere your spirit, it's kind of like going through, and it's like if you don't let that outweigh you, there might be something you need to learn in that atmosphere. That's why we're all passing through this life. There's something that we're learning to do. In fact, you wouldn't have even become dense as a goddamn spirit if you wasn't lost into something in the first place. So we're all passing through this atmosphere called Earth. We're all passing through these atmospheres called situations, circumstances, dealing with people, places, and things that we do. And we're learning about these things. And, you know, we're learning to correlate ourselves by passing those things and shit like that, right? You might pass through an uncomfortable environment, but you might have to get comfortable in there, because you might be there for a while before you find a boat that can get you to another land and shit like that, right? So you have to adapt the customs of the people there. So the Bible is a good book. I'm saying the Bible is a good book because it talks about this shit. I think it was like the Book of Kingdoms and shit like that. When the Shadow Government was running around practicing, taking over lands and shit, but by adopting people's customs and doing it better than them, or some crazy shit like that. But that might not be it. But yeah, I was on a long enough rant, real shit. Learn to enjoy the present moment, because honestly, life is too fucking short. And if you just pass away and you're thinking about, and you're not in the space of clarity, you're not in the space of clairvoyance, just understand that whatever next body you reincarnate to next is going to be some flunked out shit that's more so based on fear, stress, worry, doubt, things that don't actually, emotions that are very low octave, emotions that are very animalistic in general, and don't actually even allow you to expand your reality and shit like that. And those things just be the shit that keeps us out of the moment, like past shit. Like, you could sit back here and enjoy the moment, get into whatever you do, and allow a spirit to actually slowly and surely, you know, guide you through that process, because you're not the only person creating. There's constantly ideas in the world. There's constantly feelings floating around. So we're constantly like creating stuff. We're constantly interacting with stuff. That's why observing kids is amazing, because they just go from one experience to another, and they don't really care. Like, they go from one feeling to the next. They go from one thought to the next. But adults can't do that, because we just get too solidified into this matrix. And then as a child, you know, you get indoctrinated into this matrix, and you know, they got food for everybody. They got the block sold up. So whatever it is that you're looking for, they got that shit for you, and they can cater to whatever conveniences that people are looking for. Down to even like them having convenience stores and shit like that. You might think going to the convenience store is convenient, but I guarantee you the shit that they put in those goddammit food products and juices and shit, I guarantee you that shit's not so fucking convenient for your body. I guarantee you that shit ain't so convenient for your body, but because it's convenient, people are gonna go for it. We're gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Let me get this motherfucking shit. This shit is convenient. This shit is close by. Because that's the thing. The shadow government understand. If I make things easier for you, you're not gonna work for these things as far as gaining, like, what's it called? Just creating your own intellectual property, creating your own approach. So instead of you going to the grocery store and getting a juice, you might go to the park and find you some, all possibilities might leave you some mint leaves, some mint grass and shit like that. And you might take that, find some hibiscus, go home, make you some tea, and you be like, this is some good shit. Let me go give me some more of those leaves and shit. But we be too busy trying to go to their world, and who knows, you might even create a whole new drink that sells in Whole Foods, and now you're a millionaire. All because you actually sat back and followed your curiosity. You was in the present moment, and you was actually sitting back, just enjoying your life. People always sit back and be like, man, what the fuck is this person doing? They doing things out of the norm. They doing things out of society. They doing things that don't make sense or correlate with everyday society. Now, I'm not saying be imbalanced with society. What I'm saying is learn to create balance with society. At the same time, though, we all have to participate. So don't let your job overweigh your present moment, because it's going to try to do that. Don't let your girlfriend, your hookup, your side link, or whatever the fuck you be doing on the side, whatever it is, just don't let those things take you out of the moment, because life is supposed to be enjoyed in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's it. Enjoy life, get in the moment, and the moment is very miraculous. It's very wonderful, because when you're in the moment, you really see all possibilities, and it's really enjoyable. Life just takes you out of the moment, but our job is to stay in the moment and enjoy my fucking life. Real fucking stuff.